10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is February 2nd, and we're going to get started here with the latest episode of Launchpad that was released yesterday. Oh, sorry, actually this morning. So this is episode 16. I think it's actually episode 17. Maybe I made a mistake in the tweet of Launchpad, and I'm talking to Nixo, Nixo, who is the executive director of EthDenver. Probably seen her around a lot in ETH Finance, in the EthDenver subreddits on Reddit. You've probably seen her in the Rocket Pool Discord and also on like any EthDenver related media that has gone out over the last couple of years. She's kind of become the face of EthDenver, which is really cool. This episode we actually were supposed to talk for an hour and a half, but we ended up talking almost for 2 hours, which was really cool. And we covered a whole lot of things like Nixo's discovery of crypto, like really early, actually, like in 2012 or 2013, I think 2013, and then kind of going into it and out of it, and kind of getting back into crypto in a big way in like 2020 around staking time and all the stuff that she does with EthDenver and everything else. So it was a really exciting episode, like a really cool episode. It was a lovely conversation that I had with Nixo, and I think for those of you who watch it will actually enjoy it too. She's a really cool person, so definitely check that out. And now that we got the self-shill out of the way, we can talk about some Rocket Pool stuff. So here we had this post from Maverick saying, "Hey everyone, well, it's been a pretty busy few days, but the bi-weekly update went out on Medium. You can read it here." So we actually front run Maverick by a couple of days there, and we're able to, well, a day and a bit actually, and we're able to get it out in the episode, I think yesterday or Wednesday. We covered the bi-weekly update on Wednesday's episode, that's right. So here Mav then said, we have a community call starting soon, which was yesterday, like in the evening, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it featured Langers, Ken, and Jasper, but this time it was in Discord because the Twitter is still shit, basically. And then Maverick went on to say, with EthDenver sponsorship locked in for another year, looking for volunteers to help out the Rocket Pool booth. If you attended last time, you know how much fun it was to hang out with everyone. Please help to signal your interest here, and there's a link. But first of all, we got really amazing notes about the community call from Sneaky, who was basically like in overdrive mode writing these notes. So first of all, we got some updates from Langers. So Langers went over the Twitter compromise issue and how bad it's been, and how the team's still locked out of the account even though they technically have control of it right now because of suspicious activity, and they're waiting for Twitter to unlock that account. The team did get an executive contact at Twitter, which might help with getting info on the original hack and filing a report. The Rocket Pool team is apprehensive to stay on Twitter. They're still assessing, and they've considered Farcaster, but they are trying to work out what the best way forward will be. With the Houston, Angus gave update on the audits there as well. He says that it's going through 3 audits. So Consensus Digital and Sigma Prime are done. Sigma Prime may come back and do a last bit on it. And then CS are finishing up next week. Once all audits are completed, we can assign the Immunify bounty bug and put things out onto testnet, which is really exciting as well. There was an update from Langers about the junior dev hire status, and Langers said he doesn't want to spoil the surprise, but it's very soon TM. So I've been saying for a while that I think it's Invis, but it looks like Invis is going to go work for Bitfly, who run the Beacon Chain website. So I don't know if it's going to be Invis, but that would actually be pretty cool if it is Invis, but I guess we'll find out. But the fact that Langers mentioned that it was a surprise makes me think that it's someone that we know within the community, which would actually be really cool. And then Langers also gave an update on the tokenomics changes with the rapid research incubation. He says it's driving ideas around and what will end up going into Saturn. So the review panel has been put together, and they're reviewing the submissions. The Rocket Pool team met last week to meet with the review panel and went very well. And Langers says the community submissions have been very high quality, which I agree with that, they have as well. And then Saturn, I think the team are more and more likely that Saturn is going to be put out in 2 releases. And as we get more information about that, then I will let you all know. And then we had an update of the actual bi-weekly itself, which I went through on the show a couple of days ago. So there's not really anything new for you all in that, that you can't just get from the bi-weekly itself. There were some things about EthDenver that were new, and we're going to spend a couple of minutes talking about that. So here, EthDenver liftoff. So this is actually going to be Jasper's first crypto conference, because Jasper has let everyone know that he's going to be going to EthDenver this year, which is absolutely awesome. So get tickets if you haven't already. I think they're still giving out tickets. I know someone who got a ticket last week. So they're hoping to get 25,000 people this year. So if you haven't gotten a ticket yet, it's still not too late to get a ticket. Get one as soon as possible. And I think there's still some spaces in the Rocket Pool house. Reach out to me if you are curious about that, or just put a message in conferences and people will get you in touch with the right people to get a room in there. I think there's only shared rooms left now, so that's not too bad though if you're okay with that. And then there's a bunch of other stuff going on, like there's Camp for Learning and Hackathon for computing. There's going to be seminars and side events for various protocols. And then, of course, there's going to be Denver Liftoff as well. And then there's documents going around now that are going to be letting you know what all the side events are, just so you can stay up to date with all of that stuff. With the booth, it's going to be a copy pretty much of last year, but the team's getting a new booth built for the event, like kind of custom built. It's being shipped to the US. The size of the booth is going to be the same as last year. Nothing too fancy with the new booth. I'll just be using the opportunity to chat with people who walk by. And then looking for booth volunteers. We're going to be talking about that next as well. And then there's about conference stuff. So they're trying to figure out where the placement of the booth is going to be, but I don't know if we have that yet. And then with Liftoff, Ken was sharing some information and said that the side event is same time as the main festival. It's going to overlap on the Saturday and Sunday. And then this is PDAO funded. So the GMC has approved funding for this event. So there's going to be 3 different parts to it. There's going to be a new node operator workshop. There's going to be community discussions in the workshop models. And then there's going to be speakers on the Sunday in the learning forum, and the lecture hall is going to have a capacity of about 300 people. At the event, they're charging $5 just to kind of discourage no-shows. And there's going to be a free lunch. And if you're volunteering or if you have a Rocketeer, you get a ticket for free. So that's pretty nice. So the talks are going to be about integrations, Saturn, Megapool, and the speaker event will be recorded and live streamed, which is really cool. And then there's other news about EthDenver. So we have likely there'll be more information about EthDenver coming out next week, and probably a plan for another community call before the event focusing on EthDenver. And then the situation housing in EthDenver, it looks like there's a thread under trading about housing being coordinated, but both for the main festival and mountain retreat. And then if you get to town early, make sure you go get your badge early so you don't have to wait for the really long lines. And then if you get an official NFT, it usually gives you access to the lounge, and you can get access to other like freebies and stuff around the event if you are interested in that. And then all the team members will be there except Joe, and Joe will be joining Denver Liftoff remotely as a speaker. So there's some really good updates from Sneaky. And then Jasper also added that the team is considering reaching out to media outlets about the access to the account. And on Farcaster, the account that is there is actually reserved by the team just to prevent anyone from name squatting, but they don't really use it. So there's some really good information in that community call, and a huge thanks goes out to Sneaky Ninja Guy for providing like the most amazing update and like fully detailed summary of that call. That was absolutely amazing. So talking about the conference itself, here Ken shared that there's information about POAP, and also we have some more information about Denver Liftoff. There's some information about where the booth is going to be for Rocket Pool and what the event is going to look like. And then also there's some links to the spreadsheets and documents people have about side events. Maverick here says, if you haven't reacted to the Denver attendance message further up this channel, you'll be given Denver volunteers role. So that is this one right here, the one that I mentioned over a month ago, I think 2 months ago now. So it says, drop a rocket, react to this message if you'll be in town for EthDenver main event on February 29th and March 3rd. So 37 people reacted yes to that. And then they go on to say, he says, please send a DM if you'd rather have this role removed, as it may be used to ping people occasionally in the lead up and during EthDenver. Rocket Pool's president said the main event is going to be largely similar to last year. And with that in mind, we're looking for help to hang out at the booth alongside team members and have a chat to anyone who wanders past and has questions about the protocol. No form this year. You can signal your intent or interest with just a couple of quick emoji reactions. How many shifts do you want to do? They're 3 hours each. So you can have 1 shift, 2 shifts, 3 shifts, or 4 shifts. So I put my name down for 4 shifts. And it says, what days are you available? React with the number of day, not the date necessarily. So one day, day 1, day 2, day 3, or day 4. And I said that I'm available for day 1 and day 2 because on day 3 and day 4, I will probably be spending a chunk of time at EthDenver Liftoff. And then it says that there's more information about EthDenver Liftoff that you can go follow the link. And Ken then has some advice about starting to reserve tickets for side events that you need tickets for. And you can follow the instructions here to find out what's going on at EthDenver. So it looks like it's going to be a really fun event, and a whole lot of people are turning up, which is going to, of course, be really exciting. Okay, there's a new software update on the Smartnode stack. So we have a new version today, version 1.11.7, and this is a recommended update for people on mainnet, but it's a mandatory update for people who are on Haleshki, which is going to go through the Denkun hard fork on February 7th. So here we've got a whole lot of client updates for to make everything ready for Haleshki. So we have Geth, Besu, Nethermind, Nimbus, Lodestar, Teku, Prism, and Lighthouse are all being updated. There's some information about what kind of updates are going to happen there. With Nimbus here, we've got Nimbus pruning mode will default to prune. This only applies to new users installing the Smartnode. Existing users that want to use this option would need to manually switch via Rocket Pool service config. ETH2 pruning mode is recommended to checkpoint sync Nimbus after making this change using Rocket Pool service resync ETH2. And then it says the previously deprecated Predator testnet is now completely removed from the Smartnode. Nethermind automatic pruning threshold has increased from 250 gigabyte to 300 gigabytes. So if that applies to you, please have a look at it and make sure that you're aware of what's going on. And otherwise, that all looks good. And as always, with the Smartnode update, here we have 24 hours now to update to the latest version and share your screenshot so you can get the latest POAP that Shifted will make for this version. And over here, we let's see if anyone's still using Geth. So last time we called out a couple of people using Geth, but here it looks like everyone is using Nethermind and Besu, which is really great to see. Yeah, I didn't see any Geth people. Oh, there's Ivan here who's externally managed, but we'll let him off for that. And there's also Hackworth who's externally managed. But other than that, it looks like everyone is using Nethermind or Besu, which is really wonderful to see. Okay, we're going to finish today's episode with some news here from the All Core Devs call. So Tim Baiko says that he had a summary of the All Core Devs call. I'm not going to summarize the whole thing, but something that I covered a couple of weeks ago on the show was about Besu and this bug that I had. Well, here it looks more likely now that there was some kind of attack against Besu. And Tim Baiko says, first up, Besu covered their early Jan mainnet incident. We were supposed to go over it in the last call, but ran out of time. In short, freshly funded addresses across networks deployed metamorphic contracts, which explicitly tested many edge cases. And one of these resulted in Besu nodes using the Bonsai database mode to save an incorrect pre-image in their state tree, where something that should have been self-destruct was saved rather than not. So the team patched the issue. So it looks like there was someone who was kind of poking holes at the limits of some of these execution clients. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we find out happened with Nethermind as well. I haven't actually come across a post-mortem for Nethermind yet, but if I do, I will definitely share that with all of you. But on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week.